Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about my Toronto Rap show. 5-3, top 3 offense in the NBA, top 6 defense in the NBA. Sorry, I was just thinking about all the comments I got a couple of weeks ago saying Toronto's 500. This take is bad. I'm telling you right here, right now. Pascal Siakam is playing an MVP candidate. All right. You have Freddie Double V, All-Star. You have Scotty Barnes, rising All-Star, also turned into a 3-point guy. Career high a couple of nights ago. So somebody dropped a comment earlier today saying, can you recap the Raptors-Spurs game? I think it was a Spurs fan. Unfortunately, I don't have too much actually on the San Antonio Spurs in this past game. I like KBD, but they lost by like 43. You were without Keldon, you were without Vassell, you were without your star players. So, we're mainly going to be talking about the Toronto Raptors here today. I was trying to think of a song. We'll freestyle here a little bit. I couldn't find a second verse, but my first verse was, "The Toronto Raptors are 5-3. You don't wanna mess with me." But that doesn't make sense because I'm not the Toronto Raptors. So we're gonna go ahead, botch that idea. But I think we're really seeing the Toronto Raptors in full display right here, right now. I mean, you're still without Freddie Double V. But Pascal Siakam, you know what? Let me just pull up his stats right now, because he's literally playing like an MVP candidate. 26 points, 10 rebounds, and 8 assists. Come on. Can I get some defensive stats here as well? What do we got here? 0.6 blocks, 0.9 steals. Shooting 48% from the field, 36% from downtown. I mean, he's not at the top of the MVP race, but I would be surprised if Siakam wasn't in like some random online article about top 10 players of the league. And if he isn't, well, it just goes to show you, man, the Raptors get so disrespected. And I'm so glad I started making Raptors content a little over a year ago, because you guys show so much love. You literally show so much love. So hit that like button, hit that sub button if you want daily NBA and actually a little bit of football content right here, right now. But I post a lot of Raptors videos. I'm still trying to get Raptors. I've gotten a lot of questions on Raptors Day. I'm still trying to get it going. Made a video the other day. Some stupid ESPN video was playing over it, so it was inaudible. I had to delete it, but I'm loving the Raptors. You guys know I love the Toronto Raptors. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, they're one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference, and they're 5-3 right here, right now. I think I've said that word 3 times in this 3-minute video, so I'm gonna kibosh that one. But we're not looking too much into statistics, although yeah, I was right. They have the 3rd best offense and the 6th best defense right now. I think because I cover the NBA and I have a daily live NBA show, and it seems like whenever somebody, like a viewer, plays Toronto, they're always pissed off. They're just always pissed off, and it's with good reason. I mean, this is something that Masai has been building for a couple of years now, but just their length alone is terrifying. Even if this was like not great at math here, so we'll go 10-72. Even if this was a 10-72 team, you don't want to play Toronto Raptors. They're positionless. They're interchangeable. They remind me almost of what we saw from the Boston Celtics in the second half of last season, where you just have all these guys who can switch on to guards, or they can switch on to big men, hold their own, wait till help comes, just shut down the paint. Like, Toronto's a really good basketball team, and I'm glad people are finally starting to realize that right now, because they actually, up until that Spurs game, and the Spurs are sitting at 5-3, so that's actually a little disrespectful. Not trying to be disrespectful, but they've been playing a lot of contending teams. San Antonio is not a contending championship team, I'm sorry, but we'll keep it a buck. I mean, they haven't had an easy schedule, and they've also been dealing with a little bit of injuries. Like, for example, last night we saw Otto Porter Jr.'s debut. He only played 11 minutes. However, I loved what I saw. In 11 minutes, he was +9. He knocked down a 3. He got a couple of rebounds. He had a couple of defense statistics. Like, Otto's just another piece to the puzzle. One thing I mentioned in my last Raptors video that nobody responded to was, why is Thaddeus Young playing less than 10 minutes a night? Because I really hope the answer isn't father time. I'm just a little confused with that. But, for example, this past night we saw another night of Scotty Barnes at the point guard position. Team high plus 30, 15 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 7 of 13 from the field, 1 of 4 from downtown. I mean, Scotty's well on his way to being a star. I don't know if, statistically speaking, Scotty Barnes is going to be an all-star this upcoming season. But, like, if it's not this season, which it very well could be, might I add, ooh, sorry, my phone's low on battery. If Scotty Barnes isn't an all-star this year, he'll be an all-star next year. I mean, that's something I'm not a gambling man. This isn't financial advice. But if I could take a bet right now on if Scotty Barnes was going to be an all-star next season, I would definitely take that. But you're being led by Siakam. Scotty Barnes right there with him. We're even seeing Christian Coloco pick up a couple of starts last night. 2 points, 6 rebounds, and a block. You might not think too much of that, but he finished also as a team high with Scotty as a plus 30. I mean, for a 7-footer, a rookie, a second-round pick, we said, all of us said, guys, all Raptors fans, and myself included on this channel, we said when the Raptors made that trade for Thaddeus Young, I didn't have a problem with it in any way, shape, or form because I knew since it was Detroit's second-round pick, I knew it was going to be essentially like a really late first. And Christian Coloco, I mean, he's doing his role. And so this is another piece, another asset, another addition that Nick Nurse can just honestly kind of play around with. I know he only saw 23 minutes last night, but keep in mind it was a blowout. This is his second straight start, and I'm loving what I'm seeing from Christian Coloco, especially in the long run. OG Anunoby hasn't necessarily had the best offensive season. However, he's still getting it done from downtown, and he's still being a superstar stud on the defensive end. So I am not a trade OG Anunoby guy. I believe in my last Raptors video I said, what do you guys think about trading OG Anunoby? Because I've seen it floating around on Twitter, and it was like over 90% of people were like, no, we're all set, or I'm all set with that. Just don't do that. I mean, don't do that. Because if you have a healthy OG Anunoby, even if he's giving you 15 points a night, giving you a 3 or 2, his defensive ability is something that it's just hard to find. It's just a player like OG Anunoby is just hard to find, right? Right there with him is Gary Trent Jr., who's also been really heating up. Damn, I was wrong. He had a team high plus 35, 24 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 9 of 17 from the field. He can be a little streaky at times. I'm always watching opposing teams' broadcast for whatever reason, and anytime there was a switch on Gary Trent, like there was that Tyrese switch a couple of nights ago when they lost to Philly, where it was like, yeah, like, you know, they're going to take advantage of that opportunity. I'm thinking to myself, hold on, I don't think Gary Trent's bad at defense. I don't, like, if Gary Trent Jr. is your worst defender in your starting 5, you're looking pretty freaking good. You have Chris Boucher, you have Thaddeus Young, you have Precious Achiuwa all coming off of the bench. They're going to give you a multitude of different things. They're going to score, they can stretch the floor, they can defend, they can get rebounds, they can move in transition. It's just a multifaceted group, and especially in this last game, we saw Delano Banton go 3 of 3 from downtown. He gave me 13 points. We also saw Malachi Flynn go 2 of 2 from downtown. He gave me 8 points. So this is just a really deep team, and I think the NBA eventually is going to start to figure this one out. I don't think the NBA has quite yet grasped this, but they're a really talented team, man. Like, really talented team. So you know my thoughts. If you watch my preview video on them, I think they're going to make the Eastern Conference Finals at least. I really genuinely don't think an NBA final appearance is that far out of reach, but I guess it's a little out of reach, just analytically speaking. But the eye test always proves me right. Yeah, there are some things they need to work on, but for the most part, this is one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference. That's it for today. Hit that like button, hit that sub button for more Raptor content, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.